Today we try to express the truth to others, but so often the results seem more destructive than instructive. Some of us deliver the truth with the blunt force of a butcher knife, while others of us beat around the bush so much that by the time we're done speaking, no one really understands what we're saying, and the result is more like that of a dull blade. So the question for us then becomes this: how do we express truth in a way that is honest, but also beneficial? Peter Scazzero has written a great book entitled The Emotionally Healthy Church, and in that book, he shares the same great spiritual truth that Jesus shared in Matthew chapter 7, verse 5, which is essentially this: honesty with others begins with honesty toward ourselves. At the same time, he states, and I share his same concern when he says this, he says, "My great concern with the call to a deep and hard look inside is that most people believe they're already doing so." A lot of times, truthfully, we don't often address certain areas of our life until they cause us so much pain that we're forced to pay attention. Pain often becomes our great stimulus toward change, and it can be very difficult to address painful areas of our life that we've been avoiding or that we really don't want to talk about. As Henry Cloud and John Townsend state, we change our behavior when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of changing. So what do we do to make this journey? Scazzero gives the following things. Number one, develop an awareness of what I'm feeling and doing. Pay attention to the signs your body may be giving you that something is wrong in a certain situation. Pay attention to those feelings of a knot in the stomach, or a tension headache, or teeth grinding, or insomnia. And then ask yourself, what might my body be telling me about the present situation? This is absolutely critical because it opens the door to the next step, which is asking the why, or the what's going on question. Why is it that I feel this way? Why do I feel anxious going into this meeting? Why am I always late for these meetings? Does that have something to do with it? What's really going on here, and what's God perhaps trying to tell me in this moment? The third piece of this puzzle is essential as well. It's really the oil that makes everything go. Link the gospel. Link the gospel to your situation. God's grace is what gives us the courage to be able to face the painful truth about ourselves. The shackles in our own life come off when we realize we're free to fail, share our weaknesses, admit that we've failed or we have a need, or admit that we don't know. As one church states in their motto, you can be yourself because there's nothing more to prove. Lastly, get rid of the glittering image. Get rid of the glittering image. Once we realize that the false image we portray to others is only a burden that we add to ourselves and not one that God expects us to carry, we can release it, allowing ourselves to be seen and known by Him and others in our life. And we do this knowing that our real self is covered by grace. And so what we do when we do this is we give ourselves permission to be a work in progress. And in that humility, we are best positioned to speak truth to others around us. Why? Because at that point, we're willing to let them be a work in progress as well. See you next week.